All right, well, good afternoon. My name is Ben Vollrath, Public Information Officer for Logan County, and appreciate you joining us for a little press conference and update on the tornado response. I'm going to introduce Helen Norris, our EMA Director, for some opening summary comments. Helen.
Thanks everybody for coming out. As you're certainly aware by now, March 14th around 7:50 in the evening, Logan County was hit by an EF3 tornado that impacted Lakeview, Stokes Township, Washington Township, and the village of Russell's Point. There's also some other maybe lighter damage out in the rural areas, so we're not leaving them out, but the primary impact. The EOC and Unified Command were activated immediately by the local responders, and they have been on the ground working themselves to a frazzle with mutual aid from all across the state ever since that moment. Some of those mutual aid resources for them are starting to return back to their normal positions now, and so that's beginning to stand down as our lifelines, utility services, and some of the core things like having your hardware store open for the community are coming back. So the Emergency Management Agency has been activated and working since this incident began, and we're now ramping up to lead the community into the recovery phase. And there's a lot that has been done locally already. There's just some steps that we traditionally help with getting them going. The next morning and through the night, this local community really came together. I'm very proud to represent Logan County and the Indian Lake community because they really care about each other and they came out in full force. Friends and family have been taking in those who were affected. Our volunteers have been out, they've been working, our social service agencies have been heavily involved, just getting the services and support to the people that needed it. And I just am so proud of all that they've done and thank them for all those efforts. Following the clearance of the scene by law enforcement with search and rescue efforts, our teams went out. Butler County Incident Management Team came up to support Logan County, and they were paired with Logan County CERT team volunteers. They conducted damage assessment over about a day and a half. They assessed over 900 structures. We recorded 133 destroyed, 164 major, 421 minor, and 178 affected properties. And that number doesn't total up. There's other things that have come in and gone out since then, but those are the main categories for us. So that is an initial damage assessment. It's not detail. It's surveying the status of the structure, and we reported that to Ohio EMA. Following that, several declarations were issued. And actually, the Logan County Commissioners declared the very next day, and the governor followed suit right after that. Now we're working through a process to have a higher assessment done for federal level resources. So since those declarations were issued, the Small Business Administration came into Logan County on the 20th of March, and they had two teams. I escorted one, and Chief Freihoff from Russell's Point escorted the other. And they conducted their assessment, and we did achieve the numbers that they were looking for very early in the assessment. I believe something will be forthcoming, but it is not done yet to my knowledge, so we're waiting to hear that. Following our discussions and talking to them about the severity of the impacts to our communities and to the county, Ohio EMA and in consultation with Governor DeWine, they have actually requested FEMA to come in and conduct what is called a joint public damage assessment. Did I say that right? PDA, Joint Public Damage Assessment. You can cut that out. So they'll be coming on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock on the 26th of March, and I'll escort them around the area and try to show them what the damages have been and the impacts to our community. And we'll try to help them understand what's been going on. There are also 7 other counties that are being included in that damage assessment with FEMA, and they're going to be having separate survey teams. So it'll be a little while after we meet with them before we know what the decision is at the FEMA level, whether we will receive a declaration or not. But I know that everyone is pulling for us. I've been in communication with Ohio EMA Executive Director Sima Merrick, and she tells me all the assets are pulling for us. So we appreciate everyone's help and support, and at this time, I'm going to step back and turn it back over to Ben. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Norris. Logan County Commissioner Joe Antrim is going to share a few updates as well.
Good afternoon. First of all, we'd just certainly like to thank Helen and EMA, the Sheriff's Office, and all the different entities here in Logan County for their tireless work on behalf of all the victims of this tragic incident here. I'd also like to mention that we have jurisdictions here, basically 4 different townships, 4 different villages that have been involved. And so, you know, sometimes that's been difficult when it's time to work together, but there's been no hesitation. There's been no friction. Everybody is all in this together. They know where the priority is, and that is to help our citizens recover. So thank you for that as well. And lastly, my other comment, I just came back from a County Commissioners Association meeting, and so I made it very clear to all those involved that were in attendance that we appreciate all the help from sheriff offices and EMA and various other kinds of local governments that have come into Logan County and helped us recover without being asked, without asking anything in return. They've been so gracious. They've been so accommodating. And we thank them for all that.
Thank you, Commissioner. A few other things just to share. We continue to get requests from the community in Logan County and beyond of how can we help. Logan County has a wonderful partner in the Logan County United Way, and that is the ideal place for anyone that wants to contribute to this. Donations can be given at uwlogan.org. There are numerous sponsors that have come in. Over $700,000 has been contributed to date, and that is just a donation that's happened. The real work that's been happening are these folks behind us and the volunteers that are in the neighborhoods. It's our residents, the community at large that has really made a difference, working shoulder to shoulder to clean out debris, to make things safe. Our power companies, our utility partners that are making a difference here. So can't thank them enough. Thank you all for your patience, as I know many are wanting to come volunteer. We hope at some point those times will come. Right now we have incredible partners and locals that are taking care of much of the volunteer efforts, and we have been supported now by Ohio National Guard and ODOT that is helping clean out debris and haul that away. And so we are in very good shape with our volunteers, thanks to the hard work that's happening with those behind me in leadership. A couple final notes. For those that are still needing assistance, we have a couple of places for people to go. The United Way has helped establish the multi-agency resource centers. We have 2 of those in the community. Russell's Point has one located at 337 East Main Street, and in Lakeview there's one at 165 East Lake. These are our centers where all of our social service partners have gathered to make it very simple for residents to come and get the assistance they need. Nearly 200 households have been served to date, and we expect many more will be coming in for those services in the near term. Finally, for residents that are looking for assistance with debris removal, we do have a hotline that they can call into. It is 844-965-1386. This is a free service. They can call in, and we'll have volunteers show up at their home to help clear out debris and make sure that it gets taken care of properly. The last thing we'll mention is, as part of our ongoing efforts to obtain resources at the state and federal level, we do need help in getting residents to self-report the damage that's happened at their home. They can do that online. That can be found through the Logan County EMA Facebook or Logan County EMA website, or they can also call into the Recovery Call Center, 937-292-4041. Is a great place for residents to self-report about the issues that they're having and report their damage. Again, I thank you all for your prayers. thank you all for your support of our community, and we look forward to great things to come at Indian Lake. We do appreciate you all continuing to stay at arm's length and not coming into the area for recreation just yet. The state park does remain closed temporarily, but we hope that will get back up and running in plenty of time for summer season, where we want you all back again. Thank you. We'll take a few moments for questions.
Can you talk about the recovery effort and what that looks like now that you've moved into that field?
Sure. We have plenty of partners that might be able to jump in here and answer. I think, as Director Norris mentioned, the next step is FEMA coming in and doing some assessments that might unlock some additional federal resources. There will be also a housing meeting locally happening early next week, where we have plans in work to figure out how do we do temporary housing. Right now, it has been neighbors, friends, family that have brought folks into their homes. We are so thankful for the community that we have here that is willing to do that. We have a shelter where people are also able to access. It's at Galilee Lutheran Church. That is 301 Lincoln Boulevard in Russell's Points. So that's an ongoing effort. But again, next step is really figuring out what comes with housing. How do we make sure that those folks that are in our community, that are part of our community, can stay here? We want our people to come back.
So something we didn't necessarily talk a lot about is the debris management aspect of this. And if you've looked around as you came in here, you'll know there is a massive amount of work going on. This is the largest debris event that we have had to deal with in Logan County by about 10 times what happened during the ice storm in 2005. So we have many, many resources working. Angel Payne has been our solid waste executive director, and this is her, is a day that she's leaving for a vacation, but we've been working with the National Guard and many, many resources to coordinate that. She has put plans in place. She's been working with the EPA and our local landfill, and many, many resources are working, and that will continue. The debris has to come out first so that we can have access to everything else. So there's a process, and I know it's very hard because we all want to be better so bad. So we're just doing the best we can to move it as quickly as we can. And we are very thankful for all the cooperation that we can get in keeping things open for those larger resources to move the debris out so that we can then get to the smaller debris that will get us ready to go forward. So thanks, everybody.
Let's add to that, just yesterday, 532 tons of debris was removed and taken to the landfill. That's just a small dent. So we'll continue doing that. Any other questions that we can answer right now? Okay.
From Superintendent Underwood about how it's been with the kids being back in school last week?
Sure. Superintendent Rob Underwood from Indian Lake Schools.
Absolutely. So our kids returned on Wednesday. Thanks to a lot of the folks standing behind me. They really helped coordinate those efforts and helped with transportation, especially with several roads being closed down. We've had really good attendance. I think we had about 90% of our students in attendance the last 3 days. We've identified about 96 students who were completely displaced from their homes, and approximately 56 students are now living outside of the district. So we've worked tirelessly to figure out ways to get them to school, and their parents have been great, very cooperative, and so we have a good plan in place for next week to make sure even those students who are outside of our district are able to come to school. We also have a good plan for mental health. We've had counselors in each building every day, and really the sentiment in the school was just our students and staff was just really glad to get back to the classroom.
One more minor thing to add in. I know many people are looking forward to the Eclipse event coming up, and there are lots of festivities and plans for up here at Indian Lake. We do ask that those that were planning to come here consider using some of the other opportunities in Logan County. Both West Liberty, Mad River Mountain, downtown Bell Fountain have some great and fabulous events to come up to the highest point in Ohio and enjoy the eclipse. There will still be a lot of activity happening with cleanup, debris removal, safety services up here. So we'd appreciate folks going visiting the other parts of Logan County to enjoy the eclipse coming up in the next couple of weeks. Again, thank you all for your time and your support and your prayers. We do appreciate it.